So I have to say this is, for me, one of the favorite conferences that I go to throughout the year. And part of my responsibility is that I'm responsible for our clients and for business development across the globe. And within my role, I actually attend probably close to 20 to 25 conferences a year. And I always really enjoy coming to the London event for Responsible Investor, because I think it's a really good mix of professionals that are day-to-day working with so investors working with ESG research and integrating that into their decision making. So I think there's a lot of knowledge sharing, but it's also meeting up with old friends again and seeing all the people that you normally have to travel for to see. And I moved personally from Amsterdam to New York now 3 years ago, and in that way have lost some of the contact with the people in Europe, because I just don't travel as much anymore. And here it's great to see the old friends again and to also meet new people, but also to get the insights that I really want, and to see also what the state of the ESG integration and the work that people are doing really is. So yes, and on the content side, so I love the networking, the seeing of the people, but on the content side, what I really also appreciate is that the topics that are being discussed are really the current topics that people are working on, right? So we had a good session on, for instance, change management, and I think very often the specialists, or the ESG specialists, or the portfolio managers, are actually managing that change within their organization. And we typically talk about the technicalities of ESG, or we talk about the technicalities of portfolio management, or regarding engagement. But here, just general principles like change management and how do you create change in an organization, I think are really useful tools for people in their day-to-day work.
You notice that you get new clients from different backgrounds?
So as an organization, I think we started off in what I would call the SRI industry. So these were funds with very strong objectives related to creating social and environmental impact. And as a firm, we've moved more to the mainstream and really working with the mainstream investors that see ESG information as an additional signal. So it's just another tool in the toolkit that they have. And as a company, we mainly see the growth coming actually from these investors that are looking for ESG integration. I think what's happened now also with the Sustainable Development Goals, and I think a progression also in the understanding of investors related to sustainability, is that people are focusing more on the impact they're creating. So rather than looking at ESG information from a risk lens, they're starting to look more and more to what is the impact that they're really creating, what is the contribution to change related to social, to environmental, to climate change. And I think that's really signaling a new a trend where the mainstream houses are now looking at impact and how can they demonstrate that impact in a clear way. And I think that's a sign also of a big development, and also a broadening of the number of people in the industry that are working with ESG factors.
Last year, a lot of things changed. Germany has a new policy, COP21, finally was an agreement. That's something which should give you a lot of new clients. Yes,
and it's interesting because I think often when parties think about ESG factors, they talk with research providers like us, because they realize that the research is probably all where it starts, but also as an organization we have a lot of experience in working with people on how to implement it, how to work with it, how to position also products that you create. And so they rely on us very much also for the insights in how do I do it in the right way, and it's not easy. So I think we typically see the demand coming relatively early stages with new parties that are, and we see tremendous growth at this moment. For us on a global scale, we see most growth coming from the US, where it's really taking off, but also now in the Nordic region, where people have moved away from a focus on more an exclusionary approach and an engagement with companies approach to really now full ESG integration. And I'm really happy about that. I think with respect to the German market, I think it's also coming relatively slow, but it also has to do with the structure of the pension system in Germany, where funds are just slightly different. I would see France as the absolute market leader when it comes to ESG, and also there I think the momentum is ongoing strong, and also the upcoming requirements for pension funds to report, for instance, on their carbon footprinting really has also driven an interest in carbon related information.